What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel. Of course, Joseph Conlon here. It is Tuesday night, November 2nd, 2021, and we are officially finished with the NFL trade deadline. And overall, this was a pretty boring trade deadline, to say the least. The Miami Dolphins did nothing in the trade deadline this year, and there was really only one big trade that happened yesterday when the Denver Broncos traded away their best player, basically, linebacker Von Miller, to the Los Angeles Rams for a second and third round pick at this year's draft. And the Rams seem to be going all in on winning the Super Bowl this season. So that was the only big trade in the trade deadline. And for the Miami Dolphins, a lot of people were expecting us to, trade away Xavier Howard because he has a massive contract, and I don't think we're going to pay him next year. Devontae Parker, I thought we were going to trade away. Preston Williams, I thought we were going to trade away as well. But none of those guys got traded. I don't know why. I would have traded Xavier Howard on the trade deadline. He doesn't fit with the Miami Dolphins organization plans in the future. He's not in future plans, I think, for the Miami Dolphins. So I thought it was actually pretty stupid that we didn't trade away Xavier Howard. He is a good cornerback. He's a great cornerback. But for this season, he's not living up to expectations from what we gave him with that massive 4-year deal this past offseason. He's not living up to the expectations. So, we'll have to see what happens there. I would have traded him today. I would have traded Devontae Parker away today. I would have traded Preston Williams away today because we literally have nothing to play for this season. But I guess it's all right, and we're just going to have to see how it goes in the offseason. But the big story, and you guys see it in the title, we're not going to talk about it for long here tonight. The big story that everybody has been talking for months, and it's kind of been the biggest headline for the Dolphins season this year. Not even their games, how the guys are playing. It's about Deshaun Watson. He wants to come to the Dolphins. All these legal issues, all these allegations. And the trade did not happen today. The Miami Dolphins did not get Deshaun Watson today. But ladies and gentlemen, I am here to tell you why I'm okay with this, why I'm happy with this, and why I still think the Miami Dolphins will get Deshaun Watson in the offseason in this video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. And very quickly, before we get into the show, if you have not already, be sure to go ahead and check out the reaction video to the Buffalo Bills game. If you see that video, you guys saw me with my costume on. A depressed Miami Dolphins fan had the trash bag over my head, or a brown paper bag over my head. And, because it was just a sad defeat. It was the Buffalo Bills, but it was just a bad loss. Every time's a bad loss, really. But I don't like. Just a little spiel, real quick. I don't like how when people say, "Oh, this team lost, but it was a good loss." There's no such thing as a good loss in sports. No matter if you're good, if you're mid-average, if you're bad, and you're playing a good team, and you lose by 7 points, to say we play the Ravens next Thursday, say we lose to them by like 7 points, and people go like, oh, that's a good loss. No, there's no such thing as a good loss. We lost the game. So I hate when people say that. I really do. But let's get into why we are here tonight. Deshaun Watson trade deadline is not a Miami Dolphin at this time, but there are a bunch of tweets that I will read to you. We got Adam Schefter and we got Ian Rappaport. Those are two main, sources in the NFL, and they had a lot. They had a lot to say about the Dolphins and the Deshaun Watson thing today. So I'm going to read Adam Schefter's first, and then I'm going to read Ian Rappaport's, and then I'm going to get into my reasons why I think this is all, why I'm good with this, why I'm happy, and I still think we're going to get Deshaun Watson. I still think at the end of the day, we are going to get Deshaun Watson. So let's read these tweets from Schefter. His first tweet of the day about all of this says, although the Dolphins did due diligence on Deshaun Watson and had conversations with Houston, Miami will not make a trade for the quarterback, per source. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross, who had I don't know how to pronounce that word, I'm so sorry, contingencies that needed to be met for any deal, made the final decision to not move forward. Okay? And then Schefter continues for another tweet below that and says, while Miami considered bringing in Deshaun Watson. I don't know why, but I'm laughing that I messed up that word. I said mom instead of Miami. I'm so sorry. While Miami considered bringing in Deshaun Watson, no deal ever was made in place, and the Dolphins will stick with Tua Tagovailoa, a young quarterback who has shown improvement this season. Shown improvement. Okay. I'll get to that in a little bit. I'll get to that when I get to my reasons as to why I think this is a good thing. So, then he says, and with the Dolphins declining to make a quarterback trade before today's deadline, Watson is now expected to remain in the Texans roster until the season, when the team can explore a trade for him again at that time. So they are paying Deshaun Watson all this money to sit at home and not do anything because he doesn't want to play for the Texans, and he's got these sexual allegations, these 22 allegations against him. So let's go to Ian Rappaport, and we'll go to Ian Rappaport's tweet, and it says, Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is not settling his legal situation, which means he's got this. It probably means there's more to this that we don't know. So we're going to have to find out more in the offseason. His legal situation has resulted in him not getting traded. Source says Watson will stay put in Houston until the offseason. Like I said, he won't play this season, and he's still going to pay him for sitting at home and not doing anything. Then he quote tweets it, and here's the big one. He says, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross received permission to speak with Deshaun Watson, but that was only last night. As complicated a deal as this is, this wasn't enough time, and therefore the Dolphins couldn't get the deal done today, and I'm okay with that. But now I got to get into my reasons why I'm okay with all of this. Why I'm okay that the Dolphins are going to wait until the offseason to possibly get Deshaun Watson. Trust me, I am on the camp that I want Deshaun Watson. I want Watson over Tua. That's just a massive upgrade. Once he gets all of these allegations done and it's done and over with, hopefully, we'll see. We'll see when it gets all done. We'll probably have more to it in the off season if he's found guilty or whatnot. But I gotta get into my 3 reasons. Number one, why I'm all okay with this is we get to evaluate Tua for the rest of these 9 games that he has this season and see if he truly is the guy. And just see if I'm going to take that back. He's not the guy, okay? The Dolphins have already made a decision that he's not the guy, and once they get a chance, they're going to get rid of him for Watson. It's going to happen, okay? So I took notes on it too, so hold on a second. Okay, so yeah, my number 1 reason is Dolphins get to evaluate Tua for the rest of the season, see if he can change the organization's mind from Watson being the guy to him being the guy and not going to get Watson. But then Adam Schefter says in his tweet that Tua Tagovailoa has improvement this season, and I disagree with that. I don't think Tua's improving. I really haven't been impressed with Tua since he came back, and he legit can't throw a pass more than 20 yards, and it's all the time too. Like that game against Buffalo on Sunday, again he threw 3 deep balls to Parker, one of the first plays of the game, the 4th down to Gesicki, and the pass that he just freaking threw it and it got intercepted. So I really have not seen any improvement from Tua this season, and I think there's a couple reasons as to why of that. Number 1, he just doesn't have enough weapons, I feel like. That's number 1. Number 2, the play calling is atrocious from the offensive coordinators to flow. The play calling on offense is terrible, and they have a playbook for Tua. They play it safe, and you want to know why they play it safe and they don't take risks? Because they don't trust Tua with that. They want to see what's okay for him, and the check downs, and the 5-yard slants, and the screen passes. That's what their game plan is. That's what their game plan is, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have confidence in Tua Tagovailoa. They don't have faith in Tua Tagovailoa. They don't. And I feel like for that, if the coaches don't have faith and they don't have confidence in Tua Tagovailoa, then Tua Tagovailoa doesn't have confidence that he did in college when he had Najee Harris and Henry Ruggs, which was tested for DUI because he was drinking. He was drunk behind the wheel, and he killed somebody. Please don't drink while you're driving. It's very, very stupid. But anyway, he had him. He had Jerry Jeudy. He had Jalen Waddle. He had Devontae Smith. He had all these guys in college, and he had confidence. His team was literally perfect. Alabama had a great coaching staff led by Nick Saban. Alabama had a great defense that would back up the offense, and his offense was freaking stacked ridiculously. And now he doesn't have that. And the reason Tua is not the same as he was in college, as we all thought he was going to be, with his ceiling being so high. Now the Miami Dolphins, his ceiling is very low because he doesn't have to play. He doesn't have the playmakers like he did in Alabama. Yes, he's got Jalen Waddle. Yes, he's got Devontae Parker. Yes, he's got Mike Gesicki. But there's only so much you could do when all those guys are underutilized because of the play call. And he's not as confident as he was in Alabama because this coaching staff doesn't believe him. This coaching staff does not believe in Tua Tagovailoa. And on this team, Tua Tagovailoa is an average quarterback. I said this on Sunday, and I will say it again, ladies and gentlemen. Tua Tagovailoa is a solid quarterback in the NFL. He could be a top 15 quarterback in the NFL in the next 3 years. But at this time, Tua Tagovailoa is an average quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa is not a top 15 NFL quarterback because he is on the Miami Dolphins with a bad coaching staff and doesn't have all the playmakers. So we have to evaluate Tua for these. Now we get Tua for 9 more games. We get Tua for 9 more games, and more than likely, I think we're getting Deshaun Watson in the offseason. That's my prediction. The second reason we get to know Watson's legal information, more of it in the offseason that we might not know right now. You don't need to take the risk. You don't need to be desperate right now to get Deshaun Watson because we're 1-7. We're not going anywhere this season. We're not making the playoffs. We can win the rest of our games this season. We can go 10-7, and we're not making the playoffs. One, because the AFC is that good, and we're not winning all of our games. I'm sorry. We're not beating the Baltimore Ravens. We're not beating the Tennessee Titans. And at this point of the season, I don't see us beating the Saints. I don't see us beating those 3 teams. And why rush? Why rush on the Watson trade if you're 1-7? You don't know everything from his legal information, if he's guilty or not. If he's guilty, and he's on the commissioner's exempt list, or he gets suspended. And then if he gets suspended, you might want to pay less. You might want to give less or pay less for him. You don't need to rush it right now. You don't need to. This whole trade for Deshaun Watson is not about this year. It's about 2022 and 2023 and 2024 and so on. Because once we get Deshaun Watson, ladies and gentlemen, Deshaun Watson is our franchise quarterback. There's no argument about that. Once Deshaun Watson is a Miami Dolphin, he is our guy for the future. He is our franchise quarterback. So you don't need to rush to get Deshaun Watson right now. And then my final reason that I have is if we see Tua in these last 9 games and he doesn't make an improvement, and he's playing like he did against the Buffalo Bills, and he's making stupid turnovers like Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons to cost us those games. If he's continuing to do this stuff, you move on. You move on, and if he doesn't work out, you go get Deshaun Watson in the offseason. I still think you go get him regardless, but say Tua plays great. Tua plays awesome for these last 9 games. And Deshaun Watson somehow is found guilty and gets suspended for half the season. We still have a quarterback who improved in Tua, and we have him as our quarterback. Now, with all of this, the last thing I will say, with all of this Deshaun Watson trade rumor stuff, it's a complete shit show. It's been a complete shit show. And now, our quarterback that we drafted in the first round, 5th pick of the 2020 draft, he now knows that we're trying to replace him. So that's when I remember when I said confidence. That's another reason why why I feel like he doesn't have the confidence. It's because he knows the Miami Dolphins are trying to replace him, and it doesn't matter how good he plays or how bad he plays. The Miami Dolphins are still going to go out and try to get Deshaun Watson in the offseason. That's why. And say we botched the whole thing, which I wouldn't be shocked because that's our franchise. And say in the offseason, Watson looks at our franchise and he looks at, say, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's like, you know what? Things in Pittsburgh are looking much brighter and much better than they are in Miami. I might want to go to Pittsburgh. And he goes to Pittsburgh in the offseason once Ben retires, because I do think this is Ben's last season. And he goes to Pittsburgh, and then Tua finishes his rookie contract. He's like, okay, we're looking to sign you to a so-and-so extension. Will you do it? And Tua thinks of all this that happened, and with the Watson deal and not having confidence in him, he's like, and he goes to tell the Dolphins organization, you know what? Thanks for the time in Miami. Thanks for considering signing me for an extension, but I'm going to go and test free agency. That's what's going to happen. Because Tua and his agent are going to look at all this and they're going to be like, they didn't have confidence in you. They didn't believe in you. Why should we stay here to a team who doesn't believe in you? Why would we rather do that than go to a team who would possibly want you, needs you, and more importantly, believes in you? You think Tua would want to stay on the team that's not believing in him? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that's all the things I had to say about Tua and Deshaun Watson, and things will pick up in the offseason. No doubt, things will pick back up in the offseason with Deshaun Watson, but for now, the trade deadline's over. We've got 9 games left in the season. Yeah, we're not making the playoffs, but for the rest of these 9 games, I'm here to support my boys. I am here to support the Miami Dolphins, and no matter what, I am going to cheer Tua and support Tua. More importantly, for you people that want Watson, listen, I want Watson as well, okay? But you should not be sitting here cheering against Tua if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. If you are doing that, you're not a true fan. Okay? You're not a true fan if you're a Dolphins fan and you're cheering against Tua because you want Deshaun Watson. That's not being a true fan. But I'm getting out of here. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for joining me. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Let's get that subscribe number up, man. Let's try to get that number up by 5 subscribers this weekend. 400, that would make 426 subscribers, I think. So let's gain some subscribers for the new week. Got a whole new fresher content. I do have a lot of schoolwork this week, so it's going to be the regular content. Got AEW Dynamite tomorrow. I'm going to try to get the preview up this week. I couldn't do it last week because of the amount of work I had, and I had a 4-hour seminar. Friday morning, I do have a tour. I don't know how long, but because of that, I might upload the preview Thursday night and just let it upload and have it up for you guys Thursday night as we play the Houston Texans this week, which should be interesting considering all the Deshaun Watson talks. Friday night, Rampage, and then Sunday, the reaction video for the Houston Texans, Miami Dolphins, barn burner classic game between 2-1 and 17 that everybody's clamoring over. I'm just kidding. No one really cares about that game besides Texans and Dolphins fans. But be sure to comment down below your thoughts about Deshaun Watson and the trade deadline. Do you still think we're going to get Deshaun Watson in the offseason? Or do you think Miami Dolphins are going to stick with Tua Tagovailoa for the future? Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @Colin_Joseph. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow night for the AEW Dynamite review with Wesley Williams and Cameron Johnson. Back here tomorrow night. We're going to talk about Dynamite. Cody Rhodes versus Andrade El Idolo. John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy in the semifinals of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. And many more. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, man,